ביום ההוא נתן המלך אחשוורוש לאסתר המלכה את בית המון צורר היהודים. Interestingly, the name צורר היהודים is mentioned just after Haman is killed, not before. The question is, the brisker of asks, Timche es zecher Amalek, you have to be moichek all the belongings of Amalek. So how is it base Haman mutter to take? It's zecher Amalek. It says in Kisei Tzil HaMilchomo, Timche zecher Amalek mitachas hashomayim. Rashi says, Me'ish ve'at isho me'olel ve'ad yonek מישור ועצה שלא יהא שם עמלק נזכר אפילו על הבהמו. People should not say בהמה זו משל עמלק הויזו. ספרי says שלא יהא נין ונכת ולא גומל ולא חמור תחס השומיים, שלא יאמר גומל זה של עמלק. אז it says in שמואל א' תזבוב ג' עתו והקיסו את עמלק והחרמתם את כל אשר לו ולא סחמולו לו בהמסו מאיש ועד אישו מעולל ועד יונק מישור ועד צה מגומל ועד חמור. So the guy's Haman was a problem with זכר עמלק. And also what does he say? ביום ההוא נוסן המלך אחשוורוש. What do you care if it's that day? The answer says a briskerov. Kol harugei malchus. Anybody who was killed by the king, all his belongings go to the melech. That day was not called anymore Beis Haman, was Beis Achashverosh. Since he was a tzorer la-Yehudim, he was taken away from being the owner of the house, and this house belongs to Achashverosh. Vayom hahu noson hamelech Achashverosh le'Ester hamalko es Beis Haman. Why? Tzorer ha-Yehudim. He was killed because he was a tzorer ha-Yehudim. So the melech was metaher the belongings of this house from Amalek to Achashverosh, and from Achashverosh to Esther and to Mordechai. Asher lo kados v'chasher ovadeti ovadeti. Rabbi Abba says mikan ve'elech midati. From now on, I'm going to Achashverosh from my own das. V'chasher ovadeti mi beis ovi ovadeti mimcho ve'asuru ani loch. In Zohar says, till now he was sending a shida, a ruach, but night you cannot tell the difference between a person and a ruach. Now Esther is coming to Achashverosh by day. He has to send her herself to speak to Achashverosh. So now she's going to be Asura Lebalo. So Rashi says, Eshes Kohen Shinivalo Be'oines Asura Lebalo. Eshes Kohen that was Nenso through a Goyd or through Yisrael, she's Asura Lekohen. She's a Zoyna. But Eshes Yisrael, that she wants Nenso, and she comes back to her Baal, she's Muteres Lebaal. So there was no problem whatsoever. But till now was Be'oines, and now is Be'rotzon. According to the Zohar, he actually never sent Esther to Achashverosh. At night was a Shindalet, it was a Ruach. Toises as a kashe, why didn't Mordechai give a get to Esther so she should not be an Eshes Ish? Toises says there was a Chashash that if he write a get with Eidim, it's going to be a Pirsum Adover, and he did not want that Achashverosh know that she was a Yehudiyo. But this teretz is very difficult according to the Rashbo. He says, Mina Toiro, you can be Megarish without Eidim. Yeah, with Ksav Yodoy is just like with Eidim. So if he makes a get with Ksav Yodoy, he doesn't need Pirsum, he doesn't need Eidim. So why wasn't he Megarish her with Ksav Yodo? So one of the terutzim want to say, because if he's Megarish her with Ksav Yodo, he won't be able to be Mekacho. That's not so true, because the Ramo is mistapik and Simin Lamed Beis Dalet. If somebody is Mekadesh Beksav Yodo without Eidim, if she is Mekudeshes, the tzad that she is Mekudeshes, just like a get. So he could be Mekadesh her again with Ksav Yodo. Like Yosef HaTzadik told Yankov, Asher Noson Elokim Bozeh, he showed him the Ksav Erusin, Ksav Kedushin. In Mitzrayim there were no kosher Eidim, but Ksav Yodo is considered a kosher kedushin. You don't need Eidim. So why didn't he mekadesh her with Ksav Yodo? And actually the Noida Yehuda says, who says he was not mekadesh her with Ksav Yodo? Maybe he was mekadesh her with Ksav Yodo. According to this, we can say that he was mekadesh her also with Ksav Yodo. This is the first time he was sending her straight to Achashverosh without a shindalet. So he had to write her a get Beksav Yodo without Eidim. It should not be a pirsum like Toysves says. So she says, Asher lo kedas, I'm not an oines now. V'chasher ovadeti mi beis ovi, ovadeti ani mimcho. She needs a get. And is exactly what he did. He wrote her a get b'ksav yodo. And it was a kosher get according to this mandomer, min haTorah. And if she would have go back to Mordechai. Mordechai would make a kosher kiddushin or the Beksav Yodo or with Eden. V'gam harvoino zochur latov. We find harvoino twice in the Megillah. At the beginning by the Sudas Achashverosh, and in the middle when Haman was hanged. Gam hine ho'etz asher, also Haman, that was the eitzah von harvoino to hang Haman in the eighth. Achashverosh tells the Surisim to bring Vashti aruma without clothing. Mehumon, bizeso, harvoino, bikso, avakso, zeisar, becharkas. The Gemara says he was not a tzaddik. So why do we say begam harvoino zochur latov? The Prim Kanievsky says, if you look at the first time says harvoino with a aleph, the second time says harvoino with a hey. What is that? He brings down in Ebenezer Simen Kuf Chov Tes Lamed Dalet, Al Shem Beloshon HaKodesh you write with a hey. Hashem Beloshon Aramis you write with a aleph, or any other Loshon but Loshon HaKodesh. Choma and Chova, A says Abaye, you write with a hey. Choma and Chova is Loshon HaKodesh. But Beilo, Rosa, Blumo, you write with a aleph because it's not Loshon HaKodesh. The Medrash says that Eliyahu Hanavi disguised himself in Harvoino and gave the eitzah of hanging Haman on the eighth. So actually Harvoino over there is not the same Harvoino. It's Eliyahu Hanavi. Therefore it's written with a hey to show that he was a Yehudi, Shem Kodesh. That's why we say Begam Harvoino Zochur Latov, Eliyahu Hanavi Zochur Latov. B'noach me'oivehem u'bavizo lo sholchu es yodom. This is a pli atzuma. Why didn't they take the money? It's hefker. If somebody wins the lottery ticket and he leaves it away to the goyim, hefkerwelt. Chazal say in Targum that all these 75,000 people that were killed in Tanis Esther were all Mizera Amolek. The 500 were Mizera Amolek in Shushan, and the 300 also with Aseres Bnei Haman and Haman together. Altogether 75,811 people from Amalek. Timche Zecher Amalek. The Chamorim, the behemoths, you shouldn't say behemoth zu shel Amalek. Therefore, ubavizo lo sholchu es yodom, because it was a Iser Hano midin Zecher Amalek. In Smag, Sefer Mitzvahs Godol, Mitzvah Resh Chov Vov, Lav Resh Chovov, Yehoye Baniach, Hashem Elokecho mikol oivecho misoviv, the Mitzvahs Mechias Amalek, after Kibush Eretz Yisrael from all the Oivim, in Yemois HaMoshiach. It's mashma from the Smag that there's no mitzvahs mechias Amalek bisman hazeh. The Rinas Yitzchak wants to say, this is a pliya. We find Yehoshua had the mitzvahs mechias Amalek, Shaul HaMelech has mechias Amalek, Shmuel HaNovi. So they want to say that the Iker mitzvahs mechias Amalek is b'shas des menucha. Behoye beniach. In the Zman of Shaul there was menucha, there was a mitzvahs mechias Amalek. So he wants to say this is what says in the Megillah. Benoach me'oivehem. There was a new mitzvahs mechias Amalek. B'meilu ubavizo lo sholchus yodam. Like the Targum says, they were all from Amalekim. Because at Lovo we're going to have menucha. Then it's going to be the mitzvah mechias Amalek lachlutin. Some have a minik, when they hear the word Haman, by the Megillah they clap. They make noise. B'shem Reshoim Yirkav. The Maril didn't clap. He used to say the words B'shem Reshoim Yirkav. Some have the minik, that only when they say Haman Tzorer HaYehudim, that's when they clap. I think that's minig in Chabad. In Chernobyl and Skred, the minig is to clap only once, with the foot. In Taimon, they don't clap at all. But those who do clap, they have a disadvantage, says the Pri Megadim. They are mevalvel, the noshim, they cannot hear, and the Tfilah, the Shliach Tzibur has to say again the word Haman, so repeating words in the Megillah. In Blujev, if the Shliach Tzibur said over this, the word Haman, the Blujev Rebbe would clap again Haman. They were marked not to say over the word Haman. And the Maharil, the Koivea min Hogam Shel Yisrael was makpit not to clap Haman. Adirabo, there's a kpeda not to be mafsik between the words and between the psukim. Yoiser michedei neshima. Befrat and Taman, the makpit to combine the psukim together. There's no neshima, there's no sof pasuk with neshima. You have to take the breath before the sof pasuk. The Shar Tzib brings down this Pri Megadim and Sorech Yiyun. We can say bederech remiza a Purim Torah. The Rokeach says that 54 times the word Haman in the Megillah. Be'ato isi no v'nod ba'oretz. In the Ases B'nei Haman, there's 54 oisias. Keneged the 54 times says Ases B'nei Haman. There's a meaning to say the Ases B'nei Haman b'neshimo achas. To be mesaken the 54 times that they mentioned Haman and they were mafsik yois michdei neshima. This is a Purim Torah. Be'ez says B'nei Haman yitlu al ho'etz. Esther Amalko asked Achashverosh to hang the says B'nei Haman, and the Targum says they were nitlu there many days. Yomim Rabim. The question is, there's a isa kliyas a nevela from a person לא סולין נבלוסו על עד, כי קובור תקברנו ביום ההוא, כי קיללס אלוהים תולוי, ולא סתמה אסת מוסכו אשר אדוני אלוהיך נויסן לכו נחלו. What do you do with this Easter? Actually, the Targum brings down that the Sofrei HaMelech asks Esther HaMalko this question. But the Shittas Rashi is that the Easter is only by a Yid, not by a Goy. Like Rashi says, Zilzul Melech she'odom osui, b'dmuz diokno, ve'Yisrael bon of him. It's much better. Rashi wants to live a fukei than a veil of an Goy. Memela there was no Easter whatsoever. But the Shittas HaRamban, that there is an Easter even by a Goy. It's still the muz diokno shel koine. Ki b'tzelem Elokim oso es odom. There are many teretz of this question. One teretz is that the Easter is only in Eretz Yisrael. ולא סתמה אס את מוסכו, אשר השם אלוקיכו נויסן לכו נחלו. להפוקי חוץ לאורץ. This was חוץ לאורץ. Another answer is, אפילו in חוץ לאורץ there is a Easter, but the Easter is only if the Yisrael is the toile, the one who hangs the goy. Esther HaMalko made Achashverosh a shliach to hang Aseres Bnei Haman. But the question is, shliach shel odom komoiso. A shliach of a person, like if the person himself is doing the same thing. For that we learn that's only for Yisrael. But for a goy, there's no shlichus le'akum. We learn from Beshochat Oiso Kol Kach B'nei Yisrael, shliach is not shaykh by a goy. But the Rav Shulchan Aruch says, miderabon, midivrey soifrim, there is a iser shlichus for a goy. Like says in Shulchan Aruch, Simen Reish Mem Gimel Sif Kot Nalef, the Rav Shulchan Aruch. It's a iser midivrey soifrim. Could be b'derech remiza. That's a targum that the Sofrei HaMelech ask Esther, how do you make shlichus le'akum? Who are the Sofrei HaMelech? Man malchai rabbonim, midivrei soifrim, the rabbonim themselves. Another answer is that they were not tolui more than one day. It doesn't say any place that they were tluim many days. It's only one girsa in Targum that they were tluim yomim rabim. But the Ramban that holds the Iser is not good as yomim rabim. According to the Ramban, they had to be buried right away. According to Rashi, there's no problem. It could be also, there's a machloikes in Midrashim, if they were nitla with the heads or without the heads. Toises Mesech Shabbos of Tzadik Beis Omet Aleph at the end brings the medrash that they were nitla without the heads. Maybe without the heads, no Isur. Tzelem Elokim is only in the parts of Purim from the person. But there's another medrash says that Parshandos was all the way in the bottom of the eights, according to one shita, and the eights was 50 amos tall. He makes the cheshbon that Parshandos was 3 amos away from the karka, because he was a mechashev. The Gemara says that a mechashev cannot do kishuv unless he touches the ground. That's why the Gemara Mesechta Sanhedrin, Daf Mem Hei Omot Beis, the Maaseh with Rab Shimon ben Shetach, Rashi brings the Yerushalmi, that he killed 80 machashevas by taking 80 tall bochrim, and they picked them up off the ground. They should not be able to do any kishuv. A machashev that touches the ground can do kishuv. And the Medrash says that Parshandosu was a mechashev and he should not touch the ground. They had to lift him off the ground. According to this Medrash, he was buried, he was killed, he was hanged with his head. And there was a chashash that before he dies, he should touch the ground. So Toises hold they were hanged without heads, and the other Medrash says they were hanged with the heads, and they were alive when they were hanged. Could be that's the machlokes between Rashi and the Ramban. Rashi holds no Isur by a goy, so they were hanged with heads. The Ramban says Isur even by a goy, they were hanged without heads. Could be that shat shin yotzo nishmosun keechot. They were all hanged on the tree, and the tree was 50 amos tall, but they were hanged alive. When the last one was hanged, everyone died. Sheyotzo nishmosun keechot.